A girl's on the floor hearing a great deal. Go to prison, get a husband. Mr. Grumpy is annoyed she's playing dead. Stop acting and speak up. Sylvia's brain is still buffering, but that annoying voice sounds way too familiar. Fuming, Charles asks if a cat ate her tongue. Why this silent treatment? He actually wants her to rot in a cell just to save Evelyn. Sylvia finally realizes she's back with her trashy ex-husband, Charles Lawson. Enter the drama queen Eve, pretending she never let Sylvia suffer. I'll go to prison. She sobs, claiming the car crash was a total accident. Apparently, Sylvia's jealous phone call made her too nervous to drive. Eve suddenly pulls an Oscar-worthy heart attack performance. Charles panics, telling his fragile flower to calm down before her heart stops. He promises to handle everything. Eve drops the act with a smirk. You're so sweet, Chuck. Sylvia watches the snake in the grass reveal herself. Flashback time. Eve used to brag about stealing Chuck and his heart. She even invited Sylvia to watch them be happy while Sylvia was grieving. Her parents were gone, her baby lost, and Charles belonged to the villain. While Sylvia trembled, Eve kept spouting nonsense about how their parents loved her. They adopted a sister just for you. Yeah, a sister from the underworld. Eve claims she feels sorry, even though she took everything Sylvia owned. Sylvia lost a kidney and her mother died, all for this ungrateful leech. Eve expects total forgiveness. Sylvia's chest tightens until she finally blacks out. The last thing she heard on the subway was Eve's fake family speech. Back to reality. Sylvia remembers every tragic detail of her past life. She was dying on a train, but somehow she's back in this nightmare. She's back in Charles' house, and he's still barking for an answer. Does he think she's speechless with joy over his proposal to marry her? He starts the blame game, asking why she always bullies poor little Eve. He claims Sylvia's mean words caused the crash. Talk about a reach. How can you be so cruel? He asks, while being the actual villain. The deal? Confess to the hit and run and he'll put a ring on it. Sylvia slaps his hand away. Keep your filthy paws off me, trash. She stands up, realizing she's trapped in a replay of her worst day. This moment was the opening act of her life's greatest tragedy. She once loved Charles, and Eve was the sister her parents took in. Sylvia fell for Charles as a kid. Talk about a childhood mistake. She saved his life once, leading to a long-term family engagement. Plot twist. Charles was head over heels for the manipulative Evelyn. Sylvia was the third wheel in her own romance, too blinded to see. She sacrificed her entire life for a man who didn't care. In prison, she was beaten so badly she lost a kidney. After her release, Charles married her, but it wasn't a fairy tale. He treated her like a ghost and kept Eve as his side chick. Pregnant and broken, Sylvia finally decided to run away from that hell. Then came the news. Her father died, drowned in a mountain of debt. Lost her baby, lost her life, all because of Eve's sick, twisted games. Chuck's jaw drops as Sylvia drops a truth bomb. She's skipping the prison trip because she's innocent. Why rot behind bars when life is already a nightmare? No, thank you. Send Evie instead, she scoffs. Maybe a confession will net her a shorter sentence. Illusion or not, Sylvia's done being the world's favorite doormat before she kicks the bucket. Charles is reeling. Are you insane? He gasps, unable to process this new, spicy Sylvia. Poor, sickly Evie in jail? Preposterous. But Sylvia's officially out of patience with this drama. Not my circus, not my monkeys, she quips, finally walking away from her pathetic past. Loving a cold-hearted jerk was a mistake. Self-preservation is her new favorite trend. She bolts, hoping this dream world leads her back to her parents' warm embrace. Have you no soul? Charles bellows, chasing after her like a frantic, confused puppy. She freezes. Conscience? She mocks, staring him down. That's rich coming from you. Who's the real villain? The man framing an innocent girl to save his darling? Check the ID, Chuck. She's a Lloyd. I'm a Murray. We aren't even blood. Just an adopted stray. And frankly, some people don't deserve her kindness anymore. Cue the waterworks. Evie starts her wronged sister performance right on schedule. 10 years of sisterhood. Evie wails, playing the victim like a seasoned professional actress. Chuck rushes to play the White Knight, shielding his precious Evie from the harsh truth. Evie's internal gears are grinding. Where did the once timid and obedient Sylvia go? The former puppet just cut her strings. I don't have ungrateful sisters, Sylvia fires back. Enough, Charles barks. I'm marrying you. Isn't that what you've always begged for? Actually, I'd rather be single, she retorts, tossing their engagement in the trash. Go marry your precious Evie and stay out of my way. Bye-bye. She's officially done being the third wheel. It's time for a permanent breakup. Charles is shaking with rage as his perfect world crumbles. How dare she leave? It's a literal tug-of-war as Charles grabs her arm while Evie clings to him. Enter the butler with a buzzkill. The big boss uncle is arriving soon, sir. Charles sighs, still gripping Sylvia's wrists like a stubborn, unwanted shackle. Great. He totally forgot his powerful uncle was visiting today of all days. Don't move, he commands. We'll finish this drama once I get back. Sylvia isn't having it. Kidnapping is a crime, sweetie. Want to see a jail cell? She waves 911 on her screen one tap and he's facing 3 years. Evie plays peacemaker, suggesting she take the hysterical Sylvia home herself. He lets go, swearing to protect Evie, while the villainess fumes in secret. Her scheme is a total wreck. Sylvia actually dumped Chuck? Absolutely impossible. Since she can't manipulate the engagement, Evie decides it's time for cold revenge. Let me drive you. Evie chirps, but Sylvia opts for a much safer taxi. Evie grins like a hyena as the heavens open up in a torrential downpour. Visibility is 0. The driver warns that the mysterious Mr. Lawson will be delayed. Who knew the legendary uncle was such a young, handsome heartthrob? How can such a youthful face lead a massive empire? The storm intensifies. Suddenly, bam! A drenched woman stumbles right into their bright headlights. Screech! The car clips her. A mysterious, handsome man steps out to investigate. Armed with an umbrella, the stranger rushes to help the fallen girl. She looks flushed and feverish, but then she lunges and kisses him. Talk about a roadside attraction. She's not just kissing him, she's biting his lip. He shoves her back, baffled. She collapses while the driver watches, totally clueless. Wiping his lips, the man seeks answers, but she's already lunging again. She clings to him, begging for warmth while trying to strip his clothes. He ties her hands with his tie, tosses her inside, and covers her. Hospital now. The driver is stunned. They had dinner plans at the house of Charles. He insists on the A. Meanwhile, a flushed Sylvia trembles in the back seat. He cancels on Charles, citing an emergency. Little does he know the chaos ... I'm so hot, she moans. Wait. Charles can hear her over the phone. That voice sounds familiar. But the man hangs up before Charles can think. Sylvia is completely gone, her head lolling onto our mysterious lead's lap. Let's just call him the man. Calling him uncle is way too awkward now. Sit still or I'm kicking you out. He warns, but she's far gone. She attacks his neck. I'll let your dirty minds fill in the rest. Stop the car. He drags the wild girl out and wait for it. He stuffs her in the trunk. Talk about a high-speed nightmare for him. Morning arrives. Sylvia wakes in a hospital bed with a total blank. Awake yet? A gorgeous stranger looms over her. Who on earth is he? He asks if she remembers. Then she sees the bite marks. Oh no. Flashbacks. The hugging, the kissing ... She was a total beast last night. Pure shame. She literally threw herself at a complete stranger. Mortifying, right? He sees her face turn red. So the memories are back, he notes. Who are you? And why did you jump in front of my car? Sylvia's brain is a mess. The preheated memories are still a total blur. I stopped your car. He's baffled by her suicidal stunt on that road, risking a gruesome death under his wheels. What was she thinking last night? She digs through the fog, trying to piece the nightmare together. Charles' house, a taxi, and then a kidnapping into the dark, scary woods. 3 men drugged her. Her vision faded as the trap closed in. She kicked, she ran, but they grabbed her. She plummeted down a slope. Shivering, she realizes how close she came to a dark, final end. Police! I need them now. But her savior isn't buying the drama. He suspects a scam. Is she just a pro actress playing the victim card? I'm telling the truth, she cries. But he just sees a gold digger. She's alive, but things are different this time. Has she truly been reborn? Knock, knock. A blonde guy enters, checking if our damsel is finally awake. Mr. Lawson, the board is waiting. Wait, Lawson? As in, that Lawson? Another drugged girl, typical. But hey, your acting was actually almost convincing. Sylvia fumes. Does this arrogant jerk think she's some cheap, thirsty groupie? You think I was hitting on you? In your dreams, Mr. Big Shot. He smirks, unconvinced. Oh, so you weren't desperately clawing at me? You're just an ego normie, she spits. He's baffled by the weird insult. Money doesn't make you God. Not every woman wants your narcissistic self. The blonde friend loses it. Lawson, she called you an ego normie. That's hilarious. An average-looking narcissist? Nobody has ever dared call the great Lawson average. Fuming, he tosses the bag onto the bed. I don't care who sent you. She better ditch that delusion fast, because if they try that again, he's playing for keeps. His friend bails, door slamming shut. Still reeling, Sylvia wonders what kind of psychopath he is. Sure, he's eye candy, but that arrogance is a total turnoff. He'd be better off if he stopped being. Such a massive egomaniac. She eyes his bag, fearing a trap, but then she peeks inside. Surprise, it's a stunning purple dress. Honestly, a lifesaver since her clothes are ruined by mud. Maybe he isn't a total monster. Spoiler, that warm feeling dies faster than a phone battery. At the desk, the receptionist drops a bomb. Her total bill is $11,000. Heart, attack time. She was only here one night. How is it that pricey? The nurse explains. She was stashed in the VIP wing. Sylvia fumes she never signed up for the luxury treatment. Apparently, her companion made the call. If she wants to scream, she have to find him. Instant regret. Thinking he was even slightly decent was a mistake. He's messed with her head now. Then she sees it on the paper, Tristan Lawson. Finally. The mystery man has a name. She's livid. Does she look like she's made of gold? $10,000 for a hospital nap? Since those thugs stole her phone and wallet, she's officially and completely screwed. Noticing her panic, the nurse asks what happened. Sylvia explains her plight and begs for a phone. While she waits, the hospital provides a device. It's finally time to call for backup. She braces herself. There is only one person left in this world she can truly count on. The guard brings the phone. First stop, the police. Those drugging jerks need to go down. After reporting the crime, she hands the phone back, thanking the guard for the lifeline. Regret hits hard. In her past life, she failed her parents for Evelyn and lived in resentment. But the truth was clear. They always loved her. Her mother's forgiveness was always there. Her father was her silent rock, but she didn't appreciate him until it was far too late. They both died back then, but this time, she's determined to save them at any cost. Meanwhile, that guard is on a secret call, reporting that he delivered the phone as ordered. The person on the line demands the number she dialed. The surveillance has officially begun. The phone rings, it's Mom. But Eve is right there, sipping tea and realizing the plan failed. Mom panics about the new number, while Eve fumes that those idiots let Sylvia escape. Listening in, her father grumbles loudly about missing his heartless daughter. Classic tsundere dad. He barks that she shouldn't bother coming back if she chose to walk away. Ouch! Mom whispers not to worry dad is just being stubborn. She frantically asks where Sylvia is. Sylvia admits she's in the hospital, broke and without a phone. Talk about a total low point. Mom's heart drops. She spirals into full-on panic mode, demanding to know what happened. Sylvia can't explain the drama over the phone and just begs for help with the bill. Mom promises to handle everything and races out. No way she's letting her daughter suffer. Dad keeps complaining, acting like he doesn't care that Sylvia is broke and alone. He claims she deserves this for moving out, but Mom ignores the salt and bolts. Of course, the snake Eve tags along. They burst into the hospital like a worried whirlwind. Mom is a mess of worry, while Eve puts on her best, fakest, innocent face. Sylvia isn't buying the act. Since when did you ever care about me, Eve? She snaps. Eve plays the victim, making Mom think Sylvia is being the cruel one. Classic manipulation. Sylvia tries to expose her, but Mom has no clue about Eve's true dark colors. Eve cuts her off, sobbing that it's all her fault. Here comes the Oscar-winning performance. She claims if she'd forced Sylvia home yesterday, this wouldn't have happened. What a load! Playing the martyr, she grabs the bill and runs off to pay, crying the whole way. Totally fooled, Mom scolds Sylvia, convinced that Eve is actually a sweet little angel. First, she requested a hospital visit. If Sylvia thinks Eve erred, well, forgiving her is just the sisterly thing to do. Since big sisters must be saints, Sylvia bites her tongue to keep the peace during this incredibly awkward family reunion. Refusing to ruin their first moments back together, Sylvia gently guides her mother to a seat instead of arguing further. Truthfully, talking is useless. Thanks to Evelyn's twisted lies, her parents are still trapped in a web of total misunderstanding. Fearing their disbelief, Sylvia recalls her mother's final heartbreaking wish from her past life, just to live well and worry-free. Back then, while rotting in a cell, Evelyn hired thugs to brutalize her, destroying her kidneys until they both completely failed. That savage beating left her broken, eventually forcing her to search for a life-saving transplant just to survive the nightmare. Tragically, her donor was her own terminally ill mother, who perished shortly after giving Sylvia a second chance at life. Every ounce of that agonizing tragedy traces back to Evelyn's cold-blooded schemes. She was the monster behind it all. Meanwhile, a fuming Evelyn pays the hospital bill, absolutely livid that her prey managed to escape her clutches so easily. Who was the meddling fool who dared to save Sylvia in that middle-of-nowhere wasteland? Evelyn's blood is boiling with rage. She spots a familiar name on the intake form, Lawson. Not only did he save her, he booked the VIP suite. Why does that name ring a bell? She'll investigate that mysterious savior later, but for now, the plot thickens significantly. As Sylvia bids her mom farewell, a shady guard starts snapping candid photos, tailing her like a clumsy low-budget spy. She slips into the emergency stairwell, leaving the coolest stalker baffled as he loses track of her in the quiet shadows. Lurking above, Sylvia traps him on the stairs with a cold glare, demanding to know why he's playing hide-and-seek with her. Caught red-handed, the man stammers a pathetic lie about just heading upstairs, hoping she'll buy his obvious, sweating nonsense. Sylvia isn't that naive. She snatches his phone, finds the evidence, and threatens to call the police on this creepy paparazzi. Terrified, he begs for mercy, claiming it's all a big mix-up. Turns out, he's just a desperate mercenary for hire. When pressed for the mastermind's name, he admits he's clueless. He was just a pawn paid to shadow her every move. The stranger just handed over cold cash with one simple order: watch Sylvia and take plenty of pictures for his collection. Ever the genius, Sylvia demands to know his contact method. Does he have a digital trail to this mysterious employer? The guard confesses it's his last outgoing call. Sylvia hits redial immediately, her heart racing as the phone starts to ring. Who wants photos of her and her mom? Is this linked to last night's villains? Somewhere else, a phone begins to buzz. Tristan's flamboyant friend answers, eagerly asking for the latest scoop. Little does he know, he's about to get a spicy surprise. A confused Sylvia demands his identity and the reason behind his creepy surveillance. She's not here for these weird games. Realizing his cover is blown, he playfully calls her cutie, leaving her totally stunned by his sheer audacity and lack of shame. He feigns a broken heart because she's already forgotten their morning encounter. Talk about a dramatic, blonde attention seeker. How rude. She remembers him now, the blonde tag-along. Sylvia scoffs, labeling him a pathetic, ignoble underling who clearly has too much free time. Being called a minion definitely bruised his ego. Sylvia demands to know if his handsome boss ordered this annoying stack out. What's his endgame? The blonde guy is still reeling from being called ignoble. Does she realize who she's insulting right now? Before he can defend his honor, Tristan steps in, asking if that's the mystery girl on the line. The tension rises. His friend quips, "It is your street side cutie." She's terrifyingly sharp and caught my spy before he could even blink. He warns Tristan that her true identity is going to be a massive, world-shaking shock to his entire system. He drops a bombshell folder. She is your nephew's bride. Over the phone, Sylvia's jaw hits the floor as she hears everything. The horrifying truth clicks: the ignoble man she just insulted is actually her fiancé Charles's. Powerful, terrifyingly handsome uncle. How awkward. Tristan scans the profile, his expression unreadable before calmly taking the phone. It is time for a proper, high-stakes family introduction. "I am Tristan Lawson, Charles's uncle," he drawls. "Since you're his fiancé, that makes me your dear uncle too." Our protagonist isn't charmed. She demands to know why he set a creepy stalker on her. Is this a test? He claims it was a misunderstanding, suspecting her of being a corporate honey trap. But a nephew's fiancé? That changes the game. Since she's family, a spy role is impossible. But Sylvia is already over this drama and ready to hang up. She thanks him for the rescue but drops her own bomb. She's dumping Charles. No wedding means no uncle-niece bonding time. She shoves the phone back and storms off, cursing her rotten luck. Why is her life suddenly a chaotic, high-budget soap opera? How can that gorgeous, youthful-looking man be Charles's uncle? Fate must be playing a very cruel, very handsome prank on her. Last night's spicy memories flood back, turning her face bright red. She tries to stay cool, but her heart is racing. Since she's done with that man, the engagement is history. Tristan's buddy raises a curious eyebrow. He asks if she's really ghosting him. Tristan is equally stunned by the sudden breakup. Rumor says Sylvia worshipped Charles. Why dump her one and only so suddenly? The friend adds, didn't she basically move mountains just to prove her love for him? But gossip says Tristan's nephew only craves Evelyn, the delicate adopted sister of the family. He's totally whipped. Tristan asks who Evelyn is. She's the fragile type, his friend explains. A total damsel in distress who makes men play hero unlike her fiery sister. Tristan asks if she's his type. Hard pass, the guy laughs. I prefer women with spine. Scanning Sylvia's file, Tristan's mind drifts back to that night in the raging inferno. He saw her drag Charles from the flames before collapsing. A true tragic heroine. That mystery still haunts him. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Sylvia catches Eve spilling tea. Eve's playing the victim, sighing about how her wild sister hangs out with losers. No wonder she got drugged. She was practically pouncing on some guy named Mr. Lawson. Sylvia kicks the door open. Eve's face turns pale. Talk about an awkward family reunion. Having fun gossiping? Sylvia asks. You seemed so excited to ruin my reputation just now. Sylvia's presence hits like a cold shower. Eve stammers. What are you doing here? Discharging myself? Don't let me stop your performance, though. Please, continue your little show. Eve tries to backtrack. I was just packing your bags and chatting. Honest, sister? Sylvia's done with the sweet girl act. You want Charles? Fine. He's all yours. The engagement is over anyway, Eve gasps. What? Why would you say something so heartless? How could I want him? He's my future brother-in-law. Eve reminds her, but you've been dreaming of this wedding since we were little kids. Sylvia stops packing. A bitter sting hits her. She once thought Eve was a literal angel. She gave her heart and soul to the man she loved and the sister she trusted. But she was just a puppet in their twisted play. That girl is dead, she tells Eve. Charles is trash now. Once the papers are signed, I'm done with both of you. And you're leaving this family too. Eve's jaw hits the floor. Wait, you're joking, right? Is this a prank? Why be so mean? Eve immediately switches to poor me mode. But Sylvia, I have nowhere else to go. I'm so fragile. Cue the fake tears. Sylvia's hard as ice. Not my problem. Go shack up with your precious Charles. Since you're so close, Eve panics. It's a misunderstanding. He just sees me as a sibling. We both love you. Sylvia's eyes remain cold. This damsel act is officially expired. It's the same manipulative script Evelyn uses every time her claws get caught. Sylvia realizes her past self is a total clown for trusting this literal snake. When did the betrayal start? Doesn't matter. Sylvia has no time for snakes anymore. She cuts her off. I'm done. If our parents knew you tried to frame me, ... and send me to prison to save your own skin, would they still love you? Slam. Door closed. Evelyn fumes. Who does she think she is? Just because she's blood? She checks her phone. The nurse sent the photo of Sylvia's mysterious savior. A dark grin spreads. I'll ruin you, Sylvia. I'll take everything you hold dear. Once I strip away your parents' protection, you'll be nothing but a stray dog. Back at the estate, Mom welcomes her home. Go rest, dear. Your room is waiting. Sylvia walks through the halls. Every photo is a ghost of a life she once cherished. She remembers a birthday long ago. Her parents promised her anything in the world. And that day, little Sylvia begged for a sister. Talk about a wish she'd refund. To play forever. Then memories of Mom's fierce defense in court resurface. Calling her a sweet angel, insisting the hit and run was just a cruel mistake. She remembers Dad begging her to stay, promising to protect his precious daughter. But she refused, desperate to escape the suffocating shadows of her old life. Carrying a secret life within her, Sylvia finally sees her parents' wasted devotion. After dumping Charles, she coldly abandoned her lonely, aging father behind. Fleeing abroad, she wonders, did he die alone, cursing her name in that hospital? A voice snaps her back. Is money the only thing you care about? It's Dad. He's grumpy she's acting like he's a ghost or something. Seeing him alive and breathing, Sylvia tackles him with a tearful, desperate hug. I'm home, he frets. Was she bullied? She just shakes her head. She just missed him. But why the long absence and sudden hospital visit? Sylvia plays it cool, but Evelyn is already busy dripping poisonous lies. Dad fumes while Eve whispers about those strangers. No phone, no cash, just two strangers and a massive unpaid medical bill. Sylvia finally sees through Evelyn's classic, innocent sister act of chaos-making. Eve pouts, ready to strike. What were you doing with two guys? Luckily, Sylvia is done playing nice. Holding Dad's hand, she asks, who do you think they really were? Just kind strangers? Dad falls for her charm and playfully flicks her forehead. That's what you get for running away. Sylvia smiles, promising never to leave. Dad beams. Finally, his stubborn girl knows there's no place like home. They laugh, but Eve's green-eyed monster awakens. Dad, won't Sylvia mention her broken engagement with Charles? Dad explodes. Didn't she swear Charles was the only man for her? From obsession to a breakup. Marriage isn't some game for spoiled brats. Eve fake worries about his blood pressure, while Sylvia tries to calm the storm. She'll explain everything soon. After all, marriage is a serious battlefield.